Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing well today. We're doing just fine over here. It has been a while since I've made any kind of a post, but today I thought I would hop on here and talk about something, and I think it is one of the most important things that a person should consider when they're thinking about homeschooling, and that is undoing the traditional school mindset. Why is this so important? Because a lot of us, especially if you come from traditional school background, you went to a public school, we try to copy what's done at school in our home. But the thing is our home is not run like a public institution. Our home is our home. And so what works in a public institution does not work within the four walls of our home. Okay, because we have all different kinds of responsibilities. We have a family to take care of, we have a home to take care of, we have errands that we have to do, and life just works differently. Okay, so if you're thinking about homeschooling, I would highly recommend you to take a moment to kind of detox how you see school and how you see learning, how you think learning happens. Okay, we often think that we have to go rush to the store and buy desks and buy all kinds of books and all kinds of materials and do all kinds of things in order to make our home look like a learning environment. But really, we don't need any of that. And when I started out homeschooling, I did not have any kind of a desk. I didn't have any kind of a desk. I didn't have any kind of book shelving. I didn't have any, like big fancy posters on the walls. I didn't have any of those things. What I had was paper, pencils, erasers, and I had the ability to do research. And that's what I did. That's how I started. I started researching. That's the number one thing, research. You can research for work pages, you can research for materials, you can research for support groups, you can research all different kinds of things and to find out what kind of learning environment, learning style, teaching style, all would work for your family. The beautiful thing about homeschooling is that we get to really make it work for us. There's no one size fits all solution to homeschooling, because you will find, even if you are homeschooling multiple children, what works for one child may not work for all of them. Why? Because we all learn differently, right? So it's important to learn about learning styles. It's important to learn about teaching styles. It's important to learn about maybe different teaching philosophies. It's important to think about why you want to homeschool. Why is it important to you? Why do you think it's best for your family? And have conversations with your spouse as well, and talk about how this is going to change your family. Talk about the pros and the cons of homeschooling, because it does come with some, I will say, backlash. Maybe not so much anymore since COVID-19, but you have to prepare yourself. You have to prepare yourself emotionally. You have to prepare yourself mentally. You have to just make sure that you are operating from I guess you'll say, a positive space, a well thought out space. And I also think that you need to be operating out of a place of peace and rest. And you need to just really make sure that you have your fundamentals together, fundamental reasons of why you want to homeschool before you get into this, right? So take a moment to detox, not only for your own well-being, but also for your children, especially if your children are being pulled out of a traditional school setting and now you've decided to homeschool them. Not online learning at home, but you've decided to take their education into your hands, and you've decided that you are going to provide the learning experience that caters specifically to your child and your family's needs and capabilities. Okay, so this is something that's going to be a transition. You need a period of transition for yourself and for your child, because your child doesn't see you as teacher, your child sees you as mom or dad, right? And to try and put on the hat of I'm a teacher now and I'm a mom now. No, you're always their parent. You're always their parent. And being their parent is a wonderful thing, because you have your paternal instinct, but you also have the opportunity to provide, I guess, a more enriched, personal learning experience for each of your children. And that's something that a teacher doesn't get to do, because a teacher is teacher, right? It's a career and it's a profession, and they're wonderful people. I'm not talking down about teachers or anything like that. But I'm just saying that the role that you have and the role that a teacher has is very different. So the expectations are different, and the relationship itself is different, right? Just like your home, as I said, your home is not a public institution. This is your home. This is where your family lives. This is where life happens in the most intimate sense. So you don't want to try and mix that with something that is very, I don't know, we'll say generic and not intimate. It's just a public institution. So, take a moment, take a period of detox for yourself and for your child. Don't run out and think that you have to buy all these fancy things, because you don't. I have a personal testimony to that. As I said, I started with a pen and a paper, and I did some research, and I started to create coloring pages for my children. I think we did end up buying a printer for like $20, so we did invest in that, and we started doing like basics and fundamentals, like numbers and their alphabets, ABCs, and that's what we started with. And we started with coloring pages, and we started with watching and singing and dancing videos, learning videos, and that's really what we started to do. And then from there, I started to build learning binders for my children, and we started to just make sure that we had different materials and resources for them to learn the same information, but in different ways, so that they didn't become bored with it, right? So traditional school, you usually learn at a desk, but when you're homeschooling, you can learn at the park. You can learn at the grocery store. You can learn in your living room. You can learn at the kitchen table. You can learn in the backyard. You can learn at a family member's house. You can learn anywhere. That's the beautiful thing. Learning is always happening, even when you are not doing things like core subjects like your math and your reading and your writing. When you're doing other things like cooking, or even just spending time with your family, your children is learning about their environment. They're learning about who they are. They're learning about where they come from. When they go to the grocery store, they're learning that they're learning about responsibility. There also is an opportunity to learn about math. If you have really young children, then it's learning about different things that are in the world, different fruits and different vegetables, and what they're called and what they look like, and they're able to touch them, and they're able to get hands-on experience. So I won't go any more detail into that, but the whole purpose of undoing the traditional mindset, the traditional school mindset, is understanding that learning happens in all different kinds of ways. It's not to be kept in a box. It's not to be kept at a table, at a desk. It's not to be kept in worksheets. It's not to be kept for 6 hours a day. One of the biggest things I think homeschoolers need to, anyone new to homeschooling, look at quantity, or sorry, no, don't look at quantity, no. Look at the quality of learning rather than the quantity. We also like to think that, well, they go to school for about 6 to 8 hours a day. They must be doing, like, for some reason in our mind, that's learning for that amount of time in a day. But there was something that was circling online that actually broke down the amount of time spent on learning in a public school and how much time is spent on, recess, and how much time is spent on getting everyone settled, and how much time is spent on this and that. And I think it ended up being like a total of 2 hours of learning. And so those are the things that we don't take into consideration when we try to bring the traditional school environment at home. When you're at home, you have so many other things that you need to do, right? Like there's housework, and there's errands you have to run. I mean, there's so many different things and different responsibilities. But guess what? If your child is a part of that, that is also learning. Your child needs to know and learn about how life happens inside of the home. They need to know that they are working members of this house. Like, our children, I have them help out with housework. It doesn't get perfectly done, but that's not the point. The point is they need to learn that we have to upkeep our home, right? When they leave our home and they go and move on their own, they need to know, they need to have the skills to keep their home kept. And it's the same thing with cooking. Like, it's important that they learn these skills, because one day when they leave, they're going to need these skills. And if we don't teach them, then the world is going to teach them. And we know how sometimes that can work out to be. So that's all I'll say about that. But yeah, so just really take time to detox for yourself and for your child, and really evaluate how you would like to teach, and both how your child learns. What are their interests, what are their weaknesses, and what are their strengths? Those are really great places to start. So I hope that was helpful to anybody who may have been watching. I hope you all are doing well, because we're doing well here by the grace of God. We're really doing well over here. And if you guys have any questions or anything that you would like to ask, or if you need to know where you can find certain resources, please feel free to leave a comment in the comments below. And I'll do anything I can to either connect you with someone or share any information that I have that could help you along the way. Okay, so it was wonderful to chat and post a video again, because it has been a very long time. And subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Share with a friend if you enjoy the content that I post on the channel, and hopefully we will have another video coming for you soon. All right, until next time.